everybody. You're watching the Good Sis Podcast, where we discuss all things Black literature and independent authors. I am Chop, and I'm here with my good sis.
Manna, hey y'all.
Hey, girl. Might I go ahead and throw in there that you are looking very, very, what you call it, Gen Z-ish right now?
Well, as a geriatric millennial, I'm aging in fact.
Not a geriatric millennial. That's what we
Yes,
are. Is that what we
but
are?
girl, my auntie, girl, twin, where have you been? Y'all, we have not. We've been on a little hiatus, like, and really just been wanting to get back to the podcast and back to talking about books, and life has life.
I'm talking about to the 13th power.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's been doing. That's what it's been doing. But you're looking good.
Thank you. You're looking beautiful always.
Thank you, ma'am. The skin is skinning. Mm-hmm.
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 Drinking my water. Speaking of drinking, what's in your cup?
Oh, not our Good Sis Podcast cups. Well, today in my cup, I'm drinking the limited edition Starbucks brown sugar coffee. I think it's brown sugar cinnamon. You know, I got a white chocolate Lindor ball in there, and I am pairing that with some oat milk creamer. I think it's French vanilla. So I got a whole bunch of sugar in my cup today. What you over there drinking?
I am drinking ice water. I needed me some ice water. I don't know if it's my allergies or what, but the stuff been stuffing. And so I just been trying to drink plenty of water. So that is what's in my cup.
Okay. Well, we got our cups. We got our drinks. So I guess we need to deep dive into what we're discussing on today. And today we're tapping over into the realm of Miss Kennedy Ryan.
Kennedy Ryan.
She did that thing. And the was it the Skyland? I'm looking down at my notes because I did make a few notes, some poignant stuff. So I made some notes, and this is the Skyland series. And in this series so far, she has Before I Let Go and This Could Be Us. Those are the two books in the Skyland series. So those are the
and we have one more book coming up. I don't think the title has been released.
I don't think so. And I think it would drop spring of 2025. So we got a little while for that book to come out. So I'm excited about it. But hey, we can jump into the two that we do have.
Oh, sure.
Yes, ma'am. So the first up is Before I Let Go by Miss Kennedy Ryan.
My feelings. This book just puts you all in to different types of feelings because go and say what you're gonna say because I don't know. I don't know where to even begin. It's so much.
We are dealing with two individuals whose lives have been merged together via marriage and children, and then torn apart because of a mental breakdown of the wife. And that's Yasmin Wade. But it's crazy because their family dynamics is they still work together. Like that's still very much in your face. When you hear about people divorcing or people going their separate ways, you see them like they don't have anything to do with each other. They got maybe a drop-off point to drop off the kids or pick the kids up.
And there was no pettiness where the business was concerned. One of the things I love about Kennedy Ryan in her writing is that she showed grown folks being grown.
Absolutely.
If people get divorced, we still got kids. They still have to be raised. We still have bills. We still have businesses. So I love that she shows how you have to just continue to maneuver, even though things are not ideal. Things are not ideal.
It's giving very much, and I know you and I had talked about that because we do read a lot of books. And this Kennedy Ryan, what I love about her writing is very much so not fluff.
No,
very
now,
much.
You are gonna fall in love.
Yes, of course,
but it's not fluff. These are hard topics. These are real life issues that are happening all around us all the time. People are dealing with trauma and not knowing how to process. And in the end, their marriages and their children and their businesses all feel the pressure of what they're going through. One of the first things that I liked about this book is how they did not skim over the hurt of both Josiah and Yasmin as a result of losing their child. They did not, Kennedy did not skim over that. She took us within that moment of loss, of grieving, and just and healing. We went through it all with her in this book. And that's what makes it so, so good and also so emotional,
Yeah.
right?
And
It
it was
tugs at your heartstrings.
traumatic.
Mm-hmm.
It was like right on traumatic, and she suffered. And I think a lot of people um would say, well, I wouldn't say this, but there are some people who've never been through that, who've never had a miscarriage, who've never had a traumatic experience such as Yasmin did, and they would say, well,
Stillbirth,
you
anything.
never got to hold a baby, you never got to do this, But a lot of us, especially the women who've been pregnant, we fall in love at conception. We fall in love when we know that there's something in there. I know I did.
Mm.
I fell in love when I
Mm.
found out I was pregnant with all of my children.
Oh
Those were
yeah.
my babies.
Oh
And I
yeah.
would find myself not doing certain things. I remember when I was pregnant with my first daughter, I was scared to even move certain ways and move
Oh yeah.
around too much because I was ignorant. I didn't know no better. But, I was just so careful. And so for her to lose a baby like that, and for, some people not to understand it and expect her to get over it so sudden, because I ain't even gonna lie, I was like, girl, you you kind of, lost this husband, but I've never experienced nothing like that so traumatic.
Well,
But
I will tell you this. I have, obviously I have one child.
mhm,
Um, when I was pregnant with my baby, I went to the doctor, and they told me that there was a possibility that she could have possibly a hole in her heart.
mhm,
When I tell you, until I got the news that until we had to go to Emory and everything, we had to get all the tests ran and all that stuff. But until I got the word that everything was okay, my belly rolled every night.
mhm,
I could not think. I was crying for any and everything. It just, so me being that close, or even having the hint or the threat of tragedy, right? That was almost too much for me. And it was so bad that I really couldn't even tell people it was happening, because I didn't want people checking on me and
right.
reminding me of what I was going through if I was in a space of peace. Like if I was in a space of peace, I didn't want you or my mama or my sister or anybody to call me up and say, I'm just checking on you and praying for you, because then it put me back.
Put you
So I
back
was
in that
scared to
headspace.
even tell people that we had possibly gotten a bad prognosis at the doctor, I mean, a bad checkup. So I can only imagine dealing with full blown tragedy in that way. You've started creating a life for this baby. You
Mhm,
have a bedroom and toys and a crib and a
mhm.
nursery, and he is already in their lives,
Yeah.
even
Look,
though he's not. And to get so close to the end of pregnancy and have an accident that causes you to lose the baby, it just took you through. And Kennedy so carefully and respectfully, but so in a very adult, real way, took us through the gambit of emotions. But I wanna I wanna switch gears.
oh goodness.
They seem like they might be soft parenting.
Look, I had
That little
already said
daughter,
that little daughter, Deja. Yeah, she was now, and I know we're not getting into that book yet, but she was soft parenting. Uh, but Soledad was a bit different.
mm,
Soledad had a bit more when she talked to her daughters,
right? I'm
But
not gonna skip around you, Deja.
no,
Roll
Yasmin
your
let
eyes
Deja.
one more time, and they're gonna
I'm
stay in the back.
telling you,
They're gonna stay in the back.
Yasmin let Deja completely disrespect her. She let Deja completely disrespect her. Ain't no way at all. She let her disrespect her. Deja was so disrespectful. And
And I get it,
yeah, I
right?
get it. I get it. I get it. Because Deja is a child. She don't understand. And Yasmin's trying to protect Josiah. And Josiah, in some sense, I think he wants to protect Yasmin. That's what he's
I think
supposed
he
to
does.
do. That's what he's supposed to do. But at the same time, I think there may have been just a tad bit of resentment, because
Mm-hmm.
she ultimately is the reason why they weren't married anymore. So there could
Yeah.
have possibly been a bit of resentment, and then he chose. I'm not gonna say he chose, but he kind of overlooked it. He overlooked it as a daughter, kind of. That's how daughters act with their mothers. But this was
Mm-mm.
beyond. Deja was disrespectful.
Deja was all the way disrespectful. And I just, I know she heard her mother say something terrible. I know she heard the fight that they had, and that caused her to, in her psyche, make her mama the villain.
Mm-hmm.
But she was old enough. I would have maybe expected that from the little boy who was an absolute angel.
He was. But you know what the crazy thing about it? That conversation that she heard when they were arguing in the nursery, it's like you don't remember when your daddy went down there and got that paint and was smothering it all over the wall. But you remember your mama saying some stuff, you know. So she was very much so a daddy's girl.
Yeah.
And just like in Soledad's book, one of the girls, daddy could do no wrong.
But I love that he was the kind of Josiah was the kind of man that, when it was time, he did check her.
Mm-hmm.
He checked her more gently than I would have checked her, but he checked her.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What do you think about Josiah trying to date again? And do you think he should have even tried it? I got my feelings about it. I'll be honest with you now. I don't blame Chef for nothing.
No, I don't. I don't. Now,
Mm-mm.
I'm not gonna sit up here and tell you that I liked her.
I did. I
But
did
you
like
know my priorities are never in the right place when it comes down to these characters.
I
So
did. Like, I ain't have no reason to not like her.
right, I didn't either. I mean, I acknowledge that full blown, wholeheartedly. I acknowledge I didn't have a reason to dislike this woman, but I didn't like her because she was the outsider. But he had every right.
You was rooting for Yasmin, so
I
I
really
get it. I
was.
get it.
I really was. I was, but then I wasn't because I ain't even gonna lie. Yasmin got on my nerves.
A little bit.
She got on my nerves just a little, just a smidge. But her mama was a hoot.
Was she not cute?
Her mama was a hoot, cleaning them chitlins with that bleach.
She was and I love the dynamic of friendship. Anytime I can see a book where there is a sisterhood, where the women are banding together
Mm-hmm.
and holding each other up, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
love it. So her best friends, they really held her and gave her the support she needed to even have the courage to try to repair things with Josiah. Like,
Yeah.
they really were her support system,
And
and I just love it.
what I love about those group of friends, and I always when I see books like that, and even when I see real life friend groups, I always have to go back to us. I do, because we've been sisters for such a long time,
Mm.
and I know if I'm doing something wrong or I'm doing something that you don't particularly agree with, you gonna tell me, and
Yeah.
you gonna hold my feet to the fire. You're not gonna be like,
Mhm.
you won't coddle me, and you won't be like, Tara, if I'm wrong, you gonna say, no, now you know you're wrong. And that's what I love about that group of friends, because he didn't have a problem telling it like T.I. is,
No,
and neither did Soledad. And if and they were behind Yasmin's back, and Yasmin knew that. And their friendship wasn't very long either, if I'm not mistaken. They had not too long met Yasmin. They met her in therapy, I believe.
I can't even remember.
Yeah, I
I
don't
look back
think
and look, I
I,
don't
I don't
remember.
think I think they met her. It might have been in therapy, and they formed this bond, this friendship in such a short time, and they were so close. But they didn't mind telling her, "Girl, you wrong," or "Girl, yeah, I root for you. You my sister. I'm gonna do anything in the world for you." I think Hen was a dynamic friend.
Yeah,
Not that Soledad
yeah.
wasn't, but
No,
Hen in
no.
this book,
Well, as we transition, we're gonna talk about Soledad. But Soledad, while this is going on, she's in the midst of her own.
she is, she's in the midst of her
I
own
love,
mess.
I love Soledad's book.
We just not gonna stop with Soledad. Listen, okay, so the end of Before I Let Go, they get back together. Let's move on to Soledad.
Yes,
They get back together. They
thank you,
they
Madam.
they get back
The
together.
family.
The family gets back together. They get remarried, and
Mhm.
then the new love interest, she move off into the other restaurant because they had a restaurant together. She go off and she do the other restaurant. Maybe we'll get a book about her later. Who cares? Now let's go get into This Could Be Us, Soledad's book, because you keep
Just
going over there.
yes, Judah Cross. I'm gonna say Josiah, but
Judah
Judah
Cross.
Cross. I remember when I first read this book and I called you. I was like, "Get on this,
Yes.
get on this
Yes.
now," because this particular hero, I've never read anything like this. I've
No.
never read anything like a man like Judah Cross.
No.
I've
Not at
never
all.
read anything like it. He is not a single. Well, he's a single father because he's divorced.
Mm-hmm.
But to be raising twin boys who are both on the spectrum,
Mm-hmm.
and what I loved about him is that he did not hold back their mother from pursuing her dreams and goals and love.
No.
I love that.
When I tell you that is a marriage,
Mm-hmm.
that is a marriage
Mm-hmm.
because they were faced, let's be clear, with a lifelong
Oh,
situation.
oh
This is
yeah.
forever to the day they die.
Mm-hmm.
And they were faced with a lifelong situation and they handled it so gracefully. We saw in the
Mm-hmm.
very beginning of the book that they handled it so gracefully. Okay,
The custody and
the
stuff, the
custody
custody
and
of
stuff.
the
We've come to
boys.
the end of our marriage. However, we have these two beautiful human beings that depend on both of us. And we
Right.
don't want to interrupt their lives because they're both on the spectrum. We don't want to interrupt their lives. So in the beginning, it was okay, Judah was going to stay in the home. No, Judah was going to go to another
He
home,
was gonna go to
and
the, yeah, I know what you meant.
Tremaine was going to stay in the home, and she was going to have the boys 5 days out of the week, and Judah was going to have them for on the weekends. But then when they asked the boys about it, and one of them said stay, and he was talking to Judah.
His daddy, that's
I
right.
love how Tremaine checked herself.
Swallowed it.
She swallowed it
Cause honey, I'd
because
have fell out of the flow.
I would have too. I ain't even gonna lie. You know,
I think I could have, honestly though, I really do think I could have allowed if it was son. Now me and my girl, I'd have
yeah,
fell out in that flow.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But they understood that the boys' comfort and the boys' routine was essential to their health.
It was
Was
priority number
essential.
one.
It was priority. So keeping them in their routine, keeping them comfortable, and keeping them in a familiar, safe setting, that was more important than her own feelings as a mother. And I tip my hat for Kennedy Ryan for even showing us this grown folks solution to a very grown situation. I tip my hat. You know, I, how do you make the reader fall in love with a woman you done divorced?
You done divorce. But you know what? What I will say is this now, because you know me. What I will say is this: they did a little too much going down memory lane. Now I know.
I think that they were healed enough to joke with each other.
No, listen, I'm sorry. And maybe Kent, maybe her new husband Kent was comfortable with that, or maybe
Get
he
one on
went
their
around.
phone.
Maybe the Kent went around. I don't know, but that was to me. That was too much reminiscing and down memory lane. Okay, these boys are how old now? 14 maybe when
Yeah,
after the
something like
divorce,
that.
we go a couple of a little while later. So
Mm-hmm.
we shouldn't be reminiscing down memory lane of did you love me and
Mm-hmm.
and I know it came from a clean place. It wasn't a dirty place or nothing like that. It was a very clean place and they were just conversing. But at the same time, I thought it was beautiful how they were able to co-parent. I thought it was beautiful how he was still the
You just
husband.
ain't want her on the phone. You just ain't
No,
want her on the phone pitty patting with your man.
no, not at all.
I understand.
Not
I
at all.
understand.
I thought it was
I
I
get
thought
it.
it was a bit too much.
I was okay with it though. I was comfortable. I was actually comfortable because
Well,
I felt like they wait a minute. Now this ain't my own marriage. That's different, right? For the book, I was comfortable.
okay, okay. Well, if we're gonna play it like that, then absolutely, absolutely. For the book, it was very comfortable. And it was cute because I
It
thought,
was cute.
because she didn't come from a malicious place, even when he
Mhm.
started having feelings for Soledad. She wasn't coming from a malicious place because she was secure with her new husband and her new marriage. And they were, I mean, they understood the dynamic that regardless of who came on from the outside, Judah, Tremaine, Aaron, and Adam were always going to be a unit because they were the mother and father, and they were going to always be together because those boys were going to always need them. So, I mean, I guess it would be important to have a very close relationship, and a cordial relationship because you were literally stuck together for life because you had these two boys who were going to need you.
Can we talk about Soledad and this man she married? Okay, so let me just say preface before I read him down dog. The politician who was courting Yasmin, I was I would have been okay with that relationship. But this envelopian, this no purpose flower that Soledad was married to,
Yeah.
I wanted him out. I was hoping that we could have a murder in one of these books. He made, because I knew he was doing something. How dare you call this woman name out while you're sleeping with your wife? And it is a woman that she has already asked you about. It's a woman that you're spending a lot of time with. You going on trips with her. Y'all work together. It's your new secretary. All this kind of mess. I already knew he was doing dirt. But the way in which
I blame Soledad. I'm so sorry, because
I don't blame
I blame
Soledad.
her. No, I blame Soledad because when he did that, when he called out his secretary name in his sleep, that would have been an issue right there. You would have woke up to a pan of hot grits or something. You took that too lightly.
You can't burn a man. You can't pour. That would have been a fish fry. That would have literally been poured hot grease on cornmeal, on no purpose flour, and it would have been a for sure fish fry.
It would have been what it was. But to me, she glossed over too much, and he hit the nail on the head in Yasmin and Josiah's book. Mm-hmm. She let Edward get away with everything. Like, it's like, girl, you didn't see that. But she did say later on in that book, maybe she didn't want to see it to a degree because of the comfortable lifestyle that she was living. But
Soledad had already invested so much into this man. You know, she put herself on hold to build the family, build him.
She did.
She mentioned helping him while they were in school, like all of this stuff. She had invested so much, and the return on her investment she was supposed to be able to have a happy and secure life. That was supposed to be her return. So for him to be, number one, greedy, then you steal from the company and get mad because the person they hire to catch you actually catch you.
Is doing your job. And I want to touch on a small, but it's not small, a thing that I've heard before, that you and I think have discussed before, about housewives not doing anything. When he said that she didn't do nothing, that he was the sole provider and she wasn't doing anything. She throw her parties and have these expensive lunches and have these elaborate bags, and maybe she did do that, but she was also cooking and cleaning and making sure that big old beautiful house was clean.
Let me tell you two things. Number one, I was a housewife for 1 year. It nearly killed me. It nearly took me out. Do you understand me? I don't want to hear nobody. I can't do it. I take my hats off to my grandmother. I take my hats off to anybody else who has ever made raising children and making a home their life. You are a superstar, a superwoman. Baby, you got it. Because 1 year, I was turning gray. I was starting to turn gray.
Not gray.
I can't do that job.
It's a job.
It takes an anointing to do that job.
It does.
So because it never ends,
nope.
Right? When you get off of work, when your husband come home, it ain't like he come home and say, "All right, baby, you're off." No. And even if he was the kind of husband that would come home and say, "All right, baby, you're off," them kids still look at you as the default parent.
As the default
So when you sit
parent.
down and you try to read your book, or you try to, drink your tea, here they come.
Mm-hmm.
Here they come. So I don't even want to hear nobody ever come out their mouth to say that a homemaker is not a real job. It is the job.
It is the job. If you are home and you raising children, even if your children are in school all day, I mean, running a household, it's tedious work. It's tedious work. You the only one cleaning a lot of times. You the only one cooking a lot of times. And by default, that house parent, whether it be a man or a woman, that house parent is the default parent. So they're the ones making sure the kids are going to school. They're making sure the kids are going to practices. They're making sure the kids. That's how it typically is. Sometimes you'll find marriages and relationships where they split things 50-50, but more But more so than not, a lot of times you have some of the other tedious responsibilities fall on that one parent. Not saying but not saying that the one that's going out and working and making all the money is not doing their part, because they are. You going out and you making all the money, but I don't want to diminish that other parent, because Soledad was the hub. He might have been the breadwinner, but she was the hub. She was the one that kept it going. So
She did.
kudos to him for that. I'll give you that because you were the breadwinner. But at the same time, you can't just diminish her for staying home because I'm pretty sure when he walked into
But
that
I
house, he walked
can't
into a
even
clean
give him
house.
kudos because, sir, it
You
ain't like
know,
you had a bad job. You had a good job,
you did have a good
but
job. You
you
had a
was
very good job.
greedy and selfish.
Yeah.
You was greedy and selfish, and you put your whole family and your whole life at risk to be greedy and selfish, baby.
And that phone call with the jail.
Mm-mm. My issue was when Soledad was trying to when Kennedy Ryan was describing the relationship between Soledad and his mother.
Oh, and how she favored Lupe because she looked like more of their side.
None of my children, not none of them, not even the dog, would be allowed over there to his mammy.
Not at all.
None of them.
Not at
I
all.
wouldn't have it. That probably would have been divorceable if he wouldn't have checked his mama. For me, that probably would have caused the marriage to go down.
But he didn't, did he?
No, he didn't never check his
I'm
mama.
sorry, he didn't check her. He didn't check her. There would
Mm-hmm.
be no way that you, as a, I wouldn't even have let my mama do that. You're not gonna signal
No.
out. You're not gonna single out one of my children and deem them as beautiful because
Special.
they look more like
Yes,
you.
because they were more white. They
So they were
looked
more
more like
white.
him.
Exactly.
They, she looked more like what his grandmother, what his mother preferred. And I'm just like, I don't like that. And it's so, it was just so toxic.
We be jumping all around the place, but I did want to bring something out that Soledad said when she was talking to Yasmin and Hen that I found quite interesting. You remember when she was talking about, I guess when she was going through her mama stuff and she was telling her about was it Greenville, South Carolina, where they had that ordinance where black
Mm.
women had to work because their husbands was,
Mm.
I guess from the war, they were sending them money. So they had enough money to be able to live the life where they didn't have to work. But because the white women were not able to have their domestics in the home because the black women were staying home, they created this ordinance in South, I think it was Greenville, she said. They created this ordinance that had to force black women to go back into the workforce and be domestics.
But
Because
see, that was the only opportunities they were able to have, right? It
right.
wasn't like they were saying you can go get your job at the post office. No, it was directly done to make them maids and house women and nannies and such and so forth to make life easier for our white counterparts.
It's just the amount of information. I love a writer because we big on these writers that have this real life information intertwined into these fictional books.
And let me just say this, in case anybody is watching this who hasn't read the book, Soledad is a Latina woman. We're not talking about a black woman here. Just because we are talking about racism, we don't want people to think that it is only a black thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those types of stereotypes happen to brown people all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the truth of the matter. If anybody was confused.
I hope you don't read the book though. If you over here, pooch stuff over here.
Oh yeah, you done came over here. You done read the book because we're gonna spoil it.
Absolutely, that's just how it goes.
This talk and any other book we ever read, any other book we ever discuss. I mean, I think that we do a good job of trying to give the book time to be out in the public, and plenty of people have read it by the time we talk about it. Because I don't know how to discuss a book without discussing the book.
Or with us going all over the place because we done started in the middle, we'll go to the end, we'll go back to the beginning. I mean, but that's what the discussion is. That's exactly what the discussion is. So you have had to read the book if you come over here, because you other than that you won't have any clue of what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But I think as we as we talk about Soledad and Judah Cross, I think that he did provide her with a lot of strength and support. But I love that he gave her that time.
Yeah.
Right? He didn't pursue her right off when nobody finally got locked up.
Yeah.
I think they had like 8 or 9 months to a year.
Yeah. It was like,
And
I
by
think it
that
was like
time,
that.
she's building herself as a content creator,
Hmm.
building herself, her business and catering and all of that, so that she could enter into a new relationship more whole. And I appreciate him for giving her that time. But baby, when he got her, he got her.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Absolutely. And I loved every bit of it. I thought it
I
was so
did too.
cute. I thought it was so
Did
cute.
too.
I
Mhm.
loved how
And
she,
then she said, done seen it.
I'm talking, has it not? From the rooter to the tutor.
Yeah, that was the only thing I'm mad at her about. I didn't want her to tell about his stuff. I really wanted. I thought she was gonna sell that stuff.
Well, that's what I would have assumed because you already know. Okay, they done froze your assets. The FBI done come in like a thief in the night and then did this, that, and the third, and you know you needed the money. Now, had she not bust up that that Larry Bird jersey, she would have never found that drive to
That
put the
drive.
nail in his coffin and get
Yeah.
the FBI of her and her kids back. But at the same
Yeah.
time, all that expensive stuff that he had, it would just been sold. I wouldn't have sold my stuff before I sold his stuff.
Mm-mm,
Because she had
mm-mm.
to sell off her clothes and stuff to keep her, to keep the
And I'm
lights
telling
on.
you, he had nice clothes, watches, and all of the life.
Mm-hmm.
All that would have been at the pawn shop.
Mm-hmm. Because he did her dirty. He did her so dirty.
And then to have that other woman coming up to the prison with the baby, and you ain't, after you got out of jail, you ain't stunned your girl.
Not at all. And she had
You,
so much grace not to bash him in front of the children.
she did.
She had so much grace because he had did some horrible things that were, I don't know if I would have been able not to say anything. But she had so much grace to protect her children at all costs, to protect her children's peace at all. Even when that little middle one was acting like Deja. Inez
Inez.
acting like
I
Deja.
can tell she gonna grow up and be something else with a name like Inez.
Inez. Listen though, it's and I may be saying her name wrong, and please forgive me if I am, but it's Wesley Saban. Was she the female narrator for this book?
Oh, for the audio.
Yes.
I know that Jacoby was the hero. I really want to say that she was. Let me go into Audible. I can check because I listen to everybody. Okay.
I don't know what
The
her.
narrator for this can be us. Her name is Inez del Castillo.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was because I just assumed it was Wesley Saban. I don't know, and I might be saying her name wrong. Forgive me, but I just assumed it was
But
her.
Wesley Saban did do Yasmin.
Okay, and so that's why I automatically assumed.
Mhm.
But I was like, okay, girl, I hear you. I mean, because she was saying she was calling those names and the way she was the
Yes. Yes.
dialect. I was like, okay,
Mhm.
but okay, but Jacoby and Miss Inez, they did a really really good job.
Oh, beautiful. Beautifully done.
Jacoby never
Beautifully done.
disappoints though. Jacoby never
No.
disappoints with audio,
Mm-mm.
so we know that. But the book itself was a good book. It was a good. It wasn't fluff. That's all I can say.
I don't think that kid. I don't think that in this series, Kennedy Ryan is giving us fluff. I
No.
am so excited to see what she does with Hendrix. This is a larger than life character. This is the character we already love. The
Yes.
girls love her. Deja and all the girls, they love her. Like we so ready for Hendrix to find her happily ever after, and she's so fabulous. I just can't wait to see how Kennedy Ryan does this and gives us the closing book to this amazing group of ladies and best friends. They are so different, but they are also so alike,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just a good ride. And
It is a good ride.
I recommend this whole series. If you haven't read it, get the first book, get the second book, and join us in reading the third one. It's so good.
And if you have not dabbled into the world of audiobooks, I'm telling you now would be a good time. Like we have some heavy hitting uh narrators for these books. Like I know you and I have heard some narrations, and it's like, oh man,
Yeah.
really? But these narrations are just beautifully done. Like I said, Jacoby never disappoints. But what Miss
Mhm.
Wesley, she did amazing job with this last book. Miss Inez did
Mhm.
amazing job with this book. You can really see these characters come to life in your mind when you're listening to these audiobooks. So I would recommend that if you're not into audiobooks, try it. I know a lot of people who read avidly say they can't get with audiobooks, but I promise you, if you give it, if you give it a try, I think you would be pleased with it because I know I love me a good audiobook when I have the chance to listen to it. You know,
Yeah, and at first I was kind of like I have it in my head how they sound. I don't want to do now what I won't tolerate is this AI crap. If you are an author, and I don't really go off on authors because, but for this, I'm gonna speak my piece. If you are an author and you letting AI read your books, I bind you. I bind you in the name. Hey, it don't ever sound right.
It don't.
It's worth it to get a real voice actor to narrate these books.
Yeah.
It creates the emotion and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear no AI narration. AI could never Jacoby deal.
I'm telling you, and I'd be hot if I done sat up there and I done ran out of credits and I done bought this audiobook.
And I used my last Audible credit on AI.
Because I got a couple of credits right now, praise the Lord.
That's why I started listening to the sample. When I go to Audible before I buy Audible book, I mean, unless it's an author I already know,
Yeah.
if it's Alexandra House, I know I'm finna get a real audio. I ain't got to check that one. But if it's a new book, I'm gonna hit that sample button because I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that AI.
I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about hitting the sample button.
Yeah,
I guess it would be my fault if I sat there and used my last credit on the AI narration when I could have just hit the sample.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that. But did you have anything else to say about this amazing series?
No. I think we kind of covered the gist of it. I mean, we all know the ending. Josiah Wade and Soledad, they get together, and Soledad, I can't say it, but they get together, and it's a beautiful thing. They do life on their terms, and they do life on their terms, and just a good read. It's just a good read. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was a bit, taken back when I realized that Miss Kennedy Ryan was up there in ATL doing book signings over there at the local Barnes and Noble.
You told me.
I didn't see it till after the fact. So, but it's okay. We'll catch you, Miss Ryan. We'll catch you.
So listen, guys, we want you to come back. We're gonna stop this video here. We gotta take a quick break. I need some real coffee. Let's come back and quickly do a quick unbox.
Okay, let's do that.